and I make games. So for this episode of Feedback Friday, 10th one, I'm covering an amazing game called Self. I saw this pop up on the featured page of Itch a couple weeks ago, played it, liked it, and then I played it again basically the past Sunday, but I had sound on, and I got through way more of it, and I just realized how amazing this game was, and I just needed to talk about it, because it's so good. And this video, it will be focused on feedback and my thoughts, obviously, as normal, but it's gonna kind of put down a guideline of just design what you want for your game. Obviously, you're never gonna be able to fit every single thing, but you can try and fit as much as you can. And that game really strives by trying to get everything down pitch perfectly, or as perfect as it can be. So let's get into the short little experience called Self. So we're gonna start with the faults, which they're the worst faults I could come up with. And when I say worst, I literally mean they're not really faults, they're just kind of wishes. One of them kind of is, the game's not very faulty is what I'm saying. But first off, make more levels, please. The game is just, you end it and then you're like, oh, that's the end. But I want more. So this game, clearly people like it. So making an expanded version would be amazing. And with what you've got right now, I would say that this could develop into an actual commercial release. You've got all the building blocks. So if you expand it enough to a point, I think you could have something golden here. My other fault is that I felt the bonus levels weren't really hard enough. When I got to them, I didn't even know they were bonus levels, and I got to them, I was like, yeah, it's ramping up in difficulty, it's adding new things, and it's like, the game felt it was building, and then it ended, and then I read the level select and realized they were bonus levels. Okay, but they really weren't hard enough. If you want a bonus level that's hard, make it hard. But I will say, with its difficulty, it only needs a smidge more difficulty, because most of those levels are hard enough to where you're gonna die the first one or two times, but after that, it's not that hard to figure things out, and then you get through it, and you're like, yay, I did it. So add a little bit more difficulty in the bonus levels, then I think you might be good. And also, with the gameplay currently, it's giving me good Celeste vibes, so maybe ramping up the difficulty slightly overall, maybe like midway through the game, that would really help juice it up, because it stays about the same until you get to the bonus levels. And that's kind of boring. Now, it doesn't stay the same, it just stays pretty close. Ramping it's very gradual. And that's all my faults. That's it. That really just shows how much of this game is just good. So, yeah. And now for our mandatory fun fact of the day. I didn't think about writing down a fun fact of the day. Oh crap. Think. What? Did you know that trees exist? That's a pretty cool fact. And they also take in carbon dioxide through their leaves to create a sugary food, which is it's just sugar, aka nectar, aka still sugar, and then they bring out that carbon dioxide again as oxygen, oxidizing the planet, which also meant that a long time ago there was a great oxidation when a bunch of stuff died because there was too much oxygen. Great! That was our fun fact of the day. I scrambled that together, but now praises. So first off, the controls are amazing. They're really good. They feel tight. They feel precise. They feel a little loose, but to a degree where it's acceptable, and you always want tight controls, but adding a little bit of wiggle room always helps to make it just feel more natural. So good controls, really good controls. Next up, the game design was really good. I would say that difficulty spike that I was talking about earlier, that needs to be tweaked a little. Maybe make the game less gradual with its difficulty. Instead of making it like a little C shape and then bonus level spikes, maybe make it more of a 45 degree angle of a spike in difficulty. Start small, but quickly rises. That would be a better difficulty for this type of game. The art was great. I loved the minimalist pixel art style that it looked good. The color palette, it's a good color palette. It's hard to make smaller color palettes look good. But when you get the right colors, it all just comes together. So the art, great. It was a great minimalist type style. I like the colors. I like just how it looked. The big hands, they looked out of place, but they fit. And I think that kind of makes sense in the story of the game, where, they're like an upper being, so they won't fit in. So I think it works. And my last praise is something that really, I don't even have to say it with words. So just listen. Casey. The game's music is amazing. It really just makes you happy. It's fast, energetic, really puts you in the mood. And it's kind of funny and ironic in that it's a lost soul, doesn't have like their own personality or anything. They're just trying, but you got this bopping, amazing music in the background. That's just, oh my! You wouldn't think it would fit, but the abstraction of it is just so good. And then it's just nice rock, heavy. It hits blows, it hits tone, and it's just good. And it's nice to just listen to some good music, especially while playing an indie game, because there's a lot of indie games with good music, but then a lot of them, they just don't. So it's always hit or miss, and especially this one. It hits music way harder than any free game deserves to. And yeah, that's all my feedback. I know it's more on the praise side, but I think this game really just shows what games should be like. Now, of course, this is a platformer, so it's going to have different values than a JRPG, for instance. But the overall game design is really what we're looking at here. The user experience was really good, and that's what I'm trying to get down here. And yeah, so that was my thoughts on this game, Self. I thought it was a good game, clearly. And yeah, so I'm going to do a little quick update here on what I'm doing right now. I know I've been mainly posting these Feedback Fridays and stuff with the occasional game-related upload. So I've kind of fiddled around a bit, and I think I'm going to start trying to employ a new schedule. So what I'm going to do is every Friday, I'm still going to have these Feedback Fridays. But then about every other Wednesday, I'm going to try and do a game dev thing. Now, most of you, if you're a game dev, you're going to know it's tricky. Things don't work out all the time, and it takes a long time to do this stuff. So be more of it could be every other week, but sometimes it takes 3 weeks to make a video, and sometimes a month. So it's kind of how it is. And yeah, so you can go see my stuff I'll have a link in the description of all my games. So yeah, do that. Play them. Rate them 5 stars. Donate me $1 million. Don't do that. That's a bad idea. And yeah, so if you like. If you don't. And subscribe.